Conversations with coaches continue. We bring in one of our favorites, Ryan Smith, cornerbacks coach. Smitty, it feels like it's been a long time since we've sat in the same room, and a lot of things have certainly transpired. Pandemic has just reshaped everything over the last year, which happened, not coincidentally, to be your first year with this staff. As we sit here, season has concluded a few weeks back. You guys are getting back after it with the guys already. We saw that earlier today. What has it been like your first year working with this staff, even with all of that added adversity?
Well, it's been a learning experience for sure. It's been awesome. I think what 2020 has showed us is, you got to prepare every day and be willing to face whatever challenge is thrown your way on a daily basis. And I really think, I've learned to be resilient. And I know from Coach Fu down, the staff has been in positions where we've got to change things on the fly, alter, how we coach, alter just how we go about our day. And, I learned a lot of resiliency and a lot of adaptation to everything that's been thrown our way.
I know so many Hokies were so impressed with you back this summer. You and I had a conversation after the just really unfortunate situation with George Floyd being murdered in my hometown of Minneapolis. And again, you and I had such a great conversation about that. And we talked about the starting point at that point for what we hoped would happen, not only just here in Blacksburg, but across the country. Now it's been a number of months later. What progress have you seen starting locally here with this program and campus and nationally and beyond in terms of what we all know we need to accomplish?
Well, I do think that the conversations are being had, but we use the track reference when we talked over in the summertime that it's a long race to be run, and it's a good thing that that conversations are being had, that awareness is being spread, but at this point we still got to continue to push the initiative and take steps forward and be proactive in our action and not just our words. And I think that's where we still, as a country, need to get to that point. And it's a long race. It's been a race that's been run for thousands of years, going back to biblical times. So it's something that we just got to be conscientious of and keep working at.
What have your conversations been like with the young people, particularly the young people of color within this program? I've been so proud of them, and I've pulled a few aside and said, it's amazing to me at your age, the voice that you're using, not just with football, with basketball, with all of our programs here at Virginia Tech, because that takes a lot of courage, I think, still, like you say, in these times. What conversations are like with you, with some of those guys, when you put football aside and really get into what may be weighing on them?
Well, I think one thing we've been able to make clear in the conversations that I've had with some of my guys is, they've all been put on platforms as student athletes, as Virginia Tech football players for a long time, and I think now it's even more important that they, carry the load of, I'm representing for young black men or young minority men or young men of color. And, it's a large burden, it's a large weight with people watching you at all times. And, there's people out there that want to see you fail at times, but it's something that you got to carry with you. And you've got to be a successful black man or successful minority, somebody who is really, achieving high at life. You've got to know that you're representing for a lot of other people. And, every decision that you make, every, action that you do, there's going to be some type of consequence to it. And that's some of the conversations we've been having.
Going into the season from a football perspective, your first year, we talked a little bit about some of the adversity that you faced just with the pandemic. Yeah. Now let's talk about adversity from a personnel standpoint, because all summer we thought coming back, we've got one of the top and most experienced corner duos in the conference, if not the country, in Caleb Farley and Jermaine Waller. And really, you played the entire season without him. Jermaine was very game and gave it the best he could at North Carolina in true Warrior fashion. But what was that adaptation like for you first year, going still to guys with a lot of talent, of course, but just not the same level of experience?
Well, the one thing that I will say is those guys battled and fought like warriors, whoever was in the lineup, because, Jermaine and Caleb weren't in for that first game, or, things happened for them not to play this year, or in Jermaine's case, play as much as he would hoped. But guys like Breon Murray, Armani Chapman, Dorian Strong, Nadir Thompson, those guys really stepped up to the plate, stepped up to the challenge. And, every week was, this is who we have. I feel really good about our corner room, really good. One of our goals as a room is to be the best position group on the team. And I think that is an achievable goal, and that's on and off the field. But it starts how we prepare and winter workouts. But, that's something that is achievable for us. And that's the first step. That's our first goal, is to be the best position group on the team.
Morning of the NC State game. Now imagine you've already got some nerves because it's your first game on this staff. I'm driving to Starbucks to get my coffee on the way to Lane Stadium. I get a text from Pete Morris, and he said, hey, Ham's not going to be able to go tonight. And I just laughed because that's where we were at that point. It's like, come on, you got to be kidding me. After all we've gone through. You get the message that not only is Justin Hamilton, which had to be killing him because it's supposed to be his first game as defensive coordinator, not going to call the defense. You're going to call the defense. Oh, yeah. Your first thoughts, and what was that day and night like, ultimately ending in such a strong performance?
Well, the day was crazy. The night before, it was just me and Ham. We were and Cardulis, the defensive GA. We were the only three left. We were the last standing guys on the defense side of the ball. So, but even in training camp, Coach Fuente prepared me to be the next in line to be the defensive coordinator. Like there was always a plan on who would call plays next. So I knew I had to prepare just in case something were to happen. Get back to my hotel room, hop in the shower. I don't even look at my phone. I hop in the shower. Then when I hop out, I look at my phone finally and have 8 texts, a bunch of missed calls. Coach Fu tells me to meet him downstairs, and I go down, and he tells me that Ham's out. And at first, I'm like, oh man, it's my first game at Virginia Tech, and I'm following a legend in Bud Foster. And but I will say, just the preparation that Ham and Coach Fu did with the staff, with me, it really, my mind just triggered, and it was, all right, next man up. And that's kind of the situation we had to deal with all year. And even in my position room, I preached it. Next man up when Caleb left. Next man up when Jermaine was out. So, I had to step up for the team, and that's what I did.
Last one for you, Smitty. I know you got busy things to do here as you guys prepare for spring football, and that's where it is. You actually get to prepare for spring football. There's still some uncertainty, certainly, in the world right now. But let's just say that everything goes the way it's supposed to go, as in terms of years past. How beneficial will that be for you, for the new guys on the staff, to get on the field and actually have that time?
Oh, it'll be huge. And, that's one thing that we really felt like we were missing last year was, we got a new defense, a new staff, and spring ball is a time really to install and get your guys really believing in that defense early. You have a spring ball, and then you have the summertime to really reteach it. So this fall was the first time really going through it, kind of working as a staff. So we're really excited, to adjust things out, get the guys really believing. And they believe in us. But really, it takes 1,000 reps to really be good at something, and we're finally in a position where guys are going to come back with experienced reps. And we've got depth at my position. I'm excited to see the competition, and iron sharpens iron. And those guys have been grinding in the weight room right now, and we're hungry in 2021. Like we left a lot on the table. But we know that if we show up every single day, one day at a time, and focus on the process and not the outcome, that good things will happen to the Hokies in 2021.